En route to her new home in Chisinau, it had been a marvellous day. Who would have thought it, and at her age? Not Mary, for one, who had said, "Are you crazy? You've never even met him, Jane. What do you know about him, really?" "We chat on Skype every day," Jane said, showing Mary the laser print on her desk. "What do you think?" "Bit long in the tooth. And who still wears a moustache?" Open coffin work, pre-Raphaelite knights looking down. The object of their gaze was a lady with skin as pallid as the dress she wore. Ginger hair poured from her veil and over her lace collar. The contrast of the armour that they wore was astounding. At the foot of the banister was a newel post in the form, "Yes, literally, don't cook it at all." "Do you have any liver on the menu?" "The one with the port, please, and leave off the garlic. Make quite sure there is no garlic in anything. I'm very allergic." "No, just a few vegetables, thanks." "And send up a good Bordeaux, nothing else, that's all." There was no mention of salad. He knew she was vegetarian. "I ordered for you," he said. "Go eat," she said. "Milan, dearest, I'm all yours." Sorry.
Bit too much of a good thing.
Much like I do, they get kind of long and
that's when you get so deep into the guts of a story that happened.
It's easy to write like that, but it does just stretch it out.
I think it's good that you can do a sex scene. I mean, that's difficult to write. And
It shocks me that everything I write seems to have a sex scene.
I mean, this one was quite restrained, I thought.
River Grey, whatever his name is. She getting schmaltzy.
I could do it, but I thought people were going to send it up, you see. I mean, I didn't expect it was going to be a real sex scene.
But what's not described is why he wants more meat. I mean,
well, yes, of course. It's because he's not a vampire.
At the end.
Hair. Her entrance had been wasted. The man raised his hooded eyes from his pint, then turned, muttering, to stare back into the black liquid. As Carla was focused now on getting the vodka inside her. She slammed her glass down on the bar and motioned to the barman for another, and another.
What happens at the end? Whose number has she got?
It's the kid's number. The end is kind of too quick. I got there and I couldn't stay up any longer.
I like the way you use everyday scenes, sort of almost domestic scenes, and make them into stories. I think that's good.
I know. There are bits. That's one of them.
Maybe that's the last one, because then she's enlightened, so it mustn't be skewed. Something
because she's desperate for it as well, so she would want it, so it would be a welcome thing.
I think towards the end as well, I mean, these are very small points, but you might call the barman the boy as opposed to the barman.
When her hair thinned, Derek went with her to choose a wig, the chance to choose a new appearance. She felt most comfortable with one resembling her usual face and new earrings on. She phoned her mom. Life isn't fair. When all my other hair went, I thought I'd at least be able to stop shaving my legs. Within a few weeks, Charlene had found bras with a punch and a lifelike prosthesis. She wore it over her breast. It felt, well, almost the same. Charlene became increasingly aware of breasts, just as she had suddenly noticed prams and babies all around her, and she all gained a grey hair or two on her behalf and supported her on this grueling journey. 3 weeks after the chemo finished, Derek made the announcement at supper. Pack your bag the rest of the morning. Jenny stayed on to help with the packing, then whisked Hannah away for the week, bag of toys and stack of books in hand. They arrived. Catch! Over to the left, bronze teenagers were throwing a frisbee, posture more important than accuracy. Back in their suite.
Okay, I'll start off with mine. I think that when they get on holiday, you're doing a lot more showing than telling, and I think you've done a heck of a lot for explain, and it's only when you get to the beach that you begin to bring it alive as beginning, and all that she's going through and the feeling sick and the whole bit, and
That's a good word.
Waiting.
do you want a bag?
A bag. Oh yes, shall I get one now?
You want one of yours?
I'm happy with yours. What have you ever?
Can I pour coffee?
No, one of yours. Please do. Mine is 5 roses.
Let me get mine actually.
You want yours?
Thanks.
Kitchen.
Can you edit that well?
Okay.
I think it's a cup.
Mother's Mouth by Joyce Carey, written in the 30s, about the artistic temperament. I mean, it is, I love it. I've always loved
Can
it.
I cut this way?
Bags of lemon and olive oil. What is that? A ditch? Beware Greeks bearing gifts. We then sailed off towards the island of Poros, our home from home, and we anchored off at Nurian Bay for our first night on the water. That evening after a swim, we went ashore with a dinghy to pick the bottle. Hangover proof, no sour face like South Africa. Suffice to say, great volumes of it is consumed with no ill effect. And before long, we were 3 boats deep, tied on to one another. Some of the Polish temperament became evident and erupted when the poor, unsuspecting, bespectacled, stuttering fellow through. So it would make sense that they're a very creative nation and need discipline to direct them to be more stable and manage and harness their vast creativity. I visited an exhibition in the Naval Archives and had to get the presiding Greek at the door to give me a little background, as it was all in Greek. And it was an exhibition of 2 artists.
A lot of it's interesting, but
Yeah.
just a question of typing it up and then perhaps doing it some.
A story.
And you
Drama.
do, of course, I mean, little point, but you do change bits and give it a bit more personality. Because, I mean, it could be the way you were reading it, but it just went on and on at the same rhythm all the time, without any highlights, without any
Oh no, I understand that stuff.
yeah, but still, even as a
It
travel piece, it's still a bit too even.
It definitely needed a thread, it needed a climax
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah.
Where was the pinnacle of your triangle?
That stuff interesting as well, you know, the tagging of all those things that people know.
Yeah, I could have got to the Hydra and
but
got
you could have
Pan
stayed on the
and
boat as
made a
well.
whole story out of him, actually.
I thought also that you could have started here. We awoke the next morning, or we awoke in the morning. Then take a piece that you'd like to work on, and deliberately have a look at the beginning. Start with action. Think of first of all where you're.
Necessarily.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to turn three ahead and read it, it was a story standing alone on its own. And if you read the book from beginning to end, it would form this picture. So that
I think was wanted: romance, love, friendship. There was a desire for something. It wasn't just got it. I mean, Renee's had a want, and yours had a want. Tessa behind the camera. Yours. Each one has